Viewers, thank you for joining us. You're watching our weekly program Talk to OBN on your favorite media channel, OBN Horn of Africa. My guest today is artist Zeleke Gesese. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for coming and inviting me.
Well,
Appreciate it.
please tell us a bit about your upbringing, your background, profile, family, career.
Whoa, that's my whole book story, man. Well, I am a musician, a philanthropist. I was born in western part of Ethiopia, in Oromia region, in Gore city town, and I was raised there till I came here for high school to Addis, and really my career and all the philanthropy started in Gore, and when I was very young, and that grew up to be came with me, and here I am now.
You're a musician, right? Tell me about your initiation and aspiration that leads you to music.
Music, okay. Music is, it started when I was like 10 years old, really, when I was very young. There is an American mission, Makana Jesus in Gore, and they scouted us from my elementary school to do a Christmas carol, and we did that, and we knew we can sing. That's the beginning. And then I joined the school theater club, and I tried to act and started music at a young age. And then I came here to Addis, and we formed with a band called Dalol in high school when I was in 9th grade. And that band is one that traveled out of Ethiopia and ended up in Chicago and went to Jamaica and won the Grammy Awards. That's how the beginning is. Wow.
You're a philanthropist too, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that humanitarian activity.
Yeah, well, the philanthropy part started with the situations in Ethiopia when we were growing up. You know, there were this, when we were in junior high school and we started the band, there was famine and war and all that kind of problem here, which we're going to get to later about the famine issue. And then we, as musicians and as young musicians, we get together many bands and we try to do fundraising for a Wollo famine. The first famine was in Wollo province, the drought, for the drought. And then that's how it began. But it began in Gore. I was a Boy Scout in junior high, I mean from 5th grade. And then we used to do a lot of philanthropic work in Gore, you know, cleaning the neighborhood, helping the poor as a Boy Scout group from my school. So that's the beginning of it. But I was more or less inspired by people like Sting, global musicians who were using music to change society and help society and stuff. So that's how I began, and once I'm with the Bob Marley's children while we were working, we wanted to help Africa in some kind of form in our early days with them in the like mid-80s. And that's when I came back to Ethiopia and looked around what we can do, and we figured out education is the best way to help society, and we started building schools project, which we will talk about later, which we have about 30 primary schools now, from Borana to Gondar. So that's the end of it.
Yes, tell me that in brief, because we use music for charity to raise funds to impact community societies positively. Tell me that experience.
Well, you know, reggae music talks about freedom, unity, Africa unite, you know, get up, stand up for your right, all that kind of stuff. So working with the Marley family, we're #1 in the world. We won 2 Grammy Awards, and we were on top of the world. You know, we're doing like 80,000 people concerts and stuff like that. And then, you know, we decided, we were talking with the Marley children, they're my good friends. We decided, let's use our power of music. We were doing fundraiser for Mandela. He was still not free in the 80s. And then when we saw all this global power through music to support Africa and Ethiopia, since we're from here, really even the schools project started with music concept to do a big concert in Ethiopia, televise it around the world, raise fund and do it. But we found a foundation in Chicago that said, you know, to do the music is going to be expensive, but I'll give you the money. Go build the schools. So we went in through music, and that's how we got the money. Because, you know, music is a power. It's very powerful. It influences people. It makes change. And why not we use that power to help our communities and our society? And it's working so far.
Well done.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they know it's Christmas? Is a charity song written in 1984 by Bob Geldof and Midjure to raise money for the 1983 and 1985 famine in Ethiopia. How do you see the role this charity song played in saving the lives of many Ethiopians, and how significant was that?
At that time, it was significant. You know, as I said, they raised, you know, a few millions. They started their initial goal was to raise $1.5 million. They went into 20 million, all that. They passed. It was a global movement. In fact, that was done in England, in London. But then there is the other one in the US, We Are the World, USA for Africa. That one, the one Michael Jackson, Quincy Jones, we were kind of close to them. Harry Belafonte was the founding person. He's Jamaican, as you know. And then we used to talk to him about that. It evolved to that. We are the, do they know it's Christmas? You know, when it started, for the 2 years, the money was coming to Ethiopia. In fact, the money was being distributed to government and the rebels, and there was a lot of political things involved in it because it's coming from Europe. And then it did help a few people at that time, you know. But this group transformed into corporation later on. The money kept on coming, the music kept on selling. I think their contribution this way was not the same amount as the initial time. And then there was an investment company called 8 Mile or something that was created by Bob Geldof that goes around Africa, and they say they invest. And then what they're doing, the 30 years anniversary, the 40th, they're rejuvenating the company image, you know, more money to come into the company. But right now, what they've done with the 40 years anniversary is completely uncalled for. To use the 40 years ago Ethiopia's image this time is completely wrong, totally wrong, because that's not what we are today. We're better.
Hold on. Following the news of Band Aid for 40th anniversary video for Do They Know It's Christmas? Criticism are being forwarded from different corners, claiming that the song doesn't reflect current reality in Ethiopia in particular and in Africa in general. I mean, do you buy this argument?
Yes, it doesn't represent the current situation because they used a footage of the famine during the famine 40 years ago in Koram in a camp. It was like 100,000 people starving, and honestly, we don't need that now. We need investment, right? Africa is changing, Ethiopia is changing to self-sustain, and then at this time what we need is a positive image portrayal. Even them, I mean, if it was positive, they could they could show the change and then create something new based on that, because they have contributed something 40 years ago, maybe a little bit 30 years ago. They've come here to invest. So I don't agree with what they've done with the footage. Wow. That footage is not supposed to be in this video at all.
The song which first topped the chart in 1984 has been accused of fueling pity rather than partnership while promoting harmful stereotype about Africa. If the song is as demanding as this is to the current image of Africa, why the authors decided to do so, in your view?
Like I said earlier, they're rejuvenating the company. I mean, you know, they are the brand. I call it the brand. You know, the Live Aid brand is it's a brand now. It's a big, like £300-400 million or dollar capital company, and then it's turned into a for-profit. They used to be Live Aid, used to be non-profit when it was created for Ethiopia. Now it's a business. So what they're doing is every 10 years they're bringing out something based on the old concept and then rejuvenate the company, but it's not helping Africa. Africa right now needs self-sufficiency, trying to get investment, you know, from the diaspora or FDI, foreign direct investment. So it doesn't help our image. Well, you know, I've been saying this before. The image of Africa in Ethiopia by the Western media is not good, as you all know. They never like to portray the good stuff that is happening here. They always put out the bad stuff, the negative stuff. Every place have negative, you know, even USA. There is so many things as we have lived there and seen, but they don't portray that out to the outside world for image building. So this is based on that too. It's the same old neo-colonialism, you know, portraying Africa in a negative form to say that Africa is still, you know, charitable land, you know, while we are the richest continent in the world. I mean, today, without coltrane and all these minerals coming out of Congo, there wouldn't be no technology, and there wouldn't be no electric car and all that stuff. So still, it's the same mentality of negativity on Africa. So this is one of those things.
Work. In his comment to the Times, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said it is frustrating to see our nation's ancient history, culture, diversity, and beauty reduced to doom and gloom. Do you share his frustration?
Yes, I do. But, you know, we have a lot of work to do on public relations. I have been campaigning with the government to hire a foreign company. It could be any other professional, international public relation company. We need that desperately because we have, the last 50 years, the image of the country have been tarnished, you know, war, famine, all of these things going on. And then we have so much history, we have so much topography, we have so much beauty of the land, so much beauty of the people, such a diverse community living together for thousands of years. I mean, we have to sell it. You know, nobody's going to come and learn for us unless we go out there and do it. So we do have work to do. As I've been saying the last 4 or 5 years, we need public relation work on the outside to counter all this negativity coming to us.
Okay, again, the PM has said the song is not a great soundtrack for the investment we need. Farming does not define who we are as a nation or a continent. Do you think such artwork sustain Africa Dark Continent labeling for years to come?
We have to counter it, for sure. We got to stop it. This have to be done, coordinated. By the way, when we talk about Africa, Pan-Africanism and all that, we need a Pan-African media. I mean, and it should be centered in Ethiopia because of the African Union and all that. So this have to project continuous good stuff out to promote Africa, Ethiopia. This clip doesn't represent what is happening today in Ethiopia or Africa in general, honestly. They're still using old footages because that's how they made all the money. So they are repeating it again to drive that. And not a lot of people are aware of what's happening in Ethiopia or Africa, the young generation, especially in the West. As you've seen on the clip, there are very young singers that they recruited. The old ones are all passed away, you know, the old musicians that were done 40 years ago. So they were the new ones, like Ed Sheeran complained 10 years ago. And there are others too who are complaining. So we have to do a lot of homework on this side and projecting the positive image of our history.
Okay, my audience might be novice to this video. Could you tell them how the production was? Just the lyrics, the footage used, just describe for that.
In that time, during that time, you know, the Civil War was full strength, full blown at that time, and it did work in terms of creating awareness about the problem. Then, this is 40 years ago, and we've come so much journeys since then. So the lyrics, for then it worked. Now it doesn't relate, honestly. I've been watching it for the last 10 days, repeatedly every time I have time to sit and listen.
Tell us those scenes in videos, the scenes
in the video, which I really, in fact, we're campaigning to be pulled out, is the famine centers in Ethiopia that they put in, the quorum, and then they say he was narrating himself when he was young. He's old now. He's like 73, 74 year old.
Do you think that's a deliberate act?
Yes, of course. Yes, it is. I told you, they are rejuvenating their brand, man. It's money making. That's what it is. And then what we are doing, as me, my brother Gesese, maybe you know him, he's worked with the Marley family and with Lauryn Hill and a lot of international stars. He's in New York right now as we speak. And then we're approaching Bono. Bono was on the original clip. Bono, if you know him, the singer, the Irish group, U2. He was here in 2013. We've met him and we've discussed about how to help Africa. He was talking about the politics, you know, how democracy is not coming to Africa. And we were saying, you know, civility started here. We were arguing with them, like, Europe cannot bring civility to Ethiopia because we were civilized before you guys. That kind of discussion. So we are trying to reach Bono, to reach Bob Geldof, and pull out this video and put something else in it if they, you know, if they are positive about it, about making a change to the image. Because if they are trying to help us, they're hurting us now. Because we need investment. We need investment. We need the countries in Europe to buy our products, you know. And this kind of thing, when you project this kind of negative image, as you know, it's not on the charts anymore, like before.
What has to be done by Ethiopian and African artists, including yourself, to counter-narrate the simmering Ed band's video?
Well, I am talking to the Marley family. We're planning to bring them to East Africa to do a peace tour. In that we might join, maybe we'll write it here, God willing. If we succeed, they can produce the song here. We can create something, counter that can showcase the current Africa, you know. It could be, you know, Ziggy Marley and Yemi Alade from Nigeria. They just did a song, Peace to Africa. And they sing, peace to Ethiopia, peace to Nigeria. It's a new one, brand new, about a month old. That's what we need, something positive for the youth to charge them to come to. So we're not gonna go countering, you know, Live Aid, but we have to create a positive image, the current image, to unify and then to create unity in Africa, because the more we united, even in Ethiopia, you know, the more we are united, the more strong we are. So I've been singing about peace for the last 30 years. So
You got a chance to produce a song that describes the current status of Ethiopia. What will be the possible footage that you
Ethiopia is rising. That's what we'll say. We will use a lot of footage. I mean, positive stuff. What is happening now? You know, new stuff. Things that are being happening today will integrate. I just did a song for the National Dialogue Commission. It says in the Makakar in Amharic. And then we're going to do a thing for different languages with the Orominya and with the Tigrinya and maybe Walaitanya, some other language, Afari, subtitle. You know, I don't know. I can try the Orominya. I can deny it because I grew up in Gore. I can speak it not fluently, but what we got to do is, even on that one, I show the city, a little bit of the cities, the changing that we're seeing. Addis is changing. I mean, the city is changing. So I'm trying to portray that while I'm talking about reconciliation. And the same thing with the new, if we do, when we do, it will be a whole different topographics. You know, there is so much beautiful stuff in Ethiopia that we can show. I have a song called Smile Ethiopia. Maybe you can integrate some of the clip from there into what I'm talking about. Smile Ethiopia shows for example, the Gada system while they are performing a ceremony. It shows when the Muslims and Christians praying together. It shows Dalol. You know, it shows the waterfalls. It shows the Western Ethiopia greenery, all that kind of stuff. So you can you know, you can edit that and put it in there. You're asking me, what are you going to do? I'm already doing it.
Wonderful, okay. Good job.
Yeah, portraying Ethiopia's positive images. So that's all we got to do. But more than that, though, I would say this to the government too. We need public relations strongly projected to the world. We need to sell. The whole world works that way, you know, marketing. And marketing is not only for sales, it's for image building too. So,
what will be your message to the Band Aid producers for just commenting on corrections?
Corrections is please take out the old footage from this video. Mm-hmm. You know, they've been here maybe 10 years ago or 12 years ago, and they've seen some good stuff that has been happening. They can put in something positive, and then they can get credit by helping us 40 years ago. We have improved things now, you know. They can do that and then help us in the meantime promote Ethiopia in a better way. So we're talking to people in New York so that they can reach them to pull out this negative footages from it doesn't even match. It's old footage. If you know, you guys know the photography. It's old footage.
Exactly.
They're using with the current pictures. And it doesn't even
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, yeah. So we're trying to reach them to pull it out from there and change it with a different thing, because they're feeling the pressure. There is a lot of...
You've urged the government to have more public relation personalities and communication strategists to promote development, prosperity, whatever.
I even suggested a public relation firm from New York. I was told there is no budget, but
yeah,
but now they've been debating about it in the government.
What are the preconditions? What is needed to have that?
Willingness and budget. You know, willingness and budget. We have to understand the need of it, and then I think they do now. The cabinet and the government structure, they do. I've sent that message to the PM's office and everything, that we need that desperately. It's expensive, but by luck, through old friends, I had found one big company that represents Saudi Arabia, Greece, and everyone to work for us for 1 year at least, for a very small amount of money. But there are ways to do the PR too. For example, we're planning to do a peace and reconciliation concert with 5 of Bob Marley's children. God willing, if I succeed, that's a big public relation, because there'll be a press release in London, press release in New York, okay? And the Bob Marley's families and children have about 120 million followers online. You know, that the fact that they are coming to Africa to create peace, because their father sang Africa Unite, and their father always wanted to live in Africa. They told me about a week ago, last month when I met them in Miami, they do want to invest in Africa, in Ethiopia. So these are another grassroots way of public relation. You know, we can get media's portray Ethiopia in a positive way and positive image. So in our little power we have with the art and the music, we're going to create this interesting public relation image through music.
Well, of course, you've touched the status of Ethiopia, the current development, the progress being seen in the country. Just tell that tone to that video producers, everything happening in Ethiopia now.
They have to come and see it. It's a lot happening. I mean, you know, the city is changing. There's a lot of places to visit. Even a lot of resorts are opening in the private sector, in the government, and everything. There is development, change going on. We need peace. There is a peace issue now in the regions. So we're working on that. That's why we're bringing the Marleys to sing about one love, you know. As you know, reggae music's history is tied to Ethiopia. And then reggae is very strong globally in Africa and everything. So we're going to use that and create a better image for the country. These guys, they come, they were here 13 years ago, 10 years ago, stuff like that. They know when they came last time. I have a friend who transports them. He's a pilot. And then he was mad because they don't want to see the good stuff. They keep asking him to take them where the problems are. And he called me after he came back from the journey, wherever. I think he went to South, Ogden, and North. And he came back and says, Zach, why are these people looking for trouble, man? I'm trying to show them, you know, the GERD and the waterfalls and stuff. They don't want that. They want the bad stuff. So that's their prerogative. Unless we counter it, they'll keep on doing that. So we need to counter it by public relation, by creating a new song too. A new song could be done where, you know, once we formulate the concert tour for the Marleys, we'll bring up the song issue, and we'll have a singer from Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda. We're talking to Rwanda. I just got a text today. In Ethiopia, we'll put together singers together, and we'll write a song. You know, something positive that will counter that image.
Okay, let me get back to you. What are you doing now? I mean, shall we wait for a new music, a new song?
Yeah, I'm doing some new music. I just did one for the reconciliation because I think our history is based on war, you know, for centuries, many centuries. So now we get this chance to sit down and talk and then figure out what we can do to change things by discussion and reconciliation and debate and dialogue. I just did a song for that, and I'm doing a LP of songs that I've been writing intermittently in the last 4 or 5 years. It's about maybe 7 songs. I'm opening a new YouTube channel, so it will be released on that. That's what I'm doing, and working on this concert. The concert is a lot of work. It's a big one. We're bringing in 75 crew. I mean, people coming in from U.S. for this tour. It's a big one. I mean, it's gonna help on the image of Ethiopia, and that's what I'm working on. And then the next thing I'm working on is we're trying to open a center where there is integrated entertainment and convention center. We don't have that in Ethiopia. I've lived in Chicago many years and worked in many convention centers doing concerts, San Francisco, Singapore, we've made a study of that, and we've started working on creating this center. The center will have a training center behind it for the arts. You know, our young generation, there are so many talented artists, young people in Ethiopia, but they don't know how to take it out to the world. So that will be a training center. That's my legacy.
Dear viewers, thank you for watching. This brings you the end of our edition for today. See you next time with another edition. Bye-bye. Take care.